Hope lives always. I just finished taking part in officiating a wedding. In the midst of everything that's going on, a wedding, you can tell from talking for so long, my voice is a little different than it was in yesterday's video. But the scripture that was read today at this wedding is one that a lot of people know, but I think one that's important for us to hear today, not just for people who are getting married, but for all of us to hear. During a time of a pandemic, during a time of justice, a time of unrest, a time of fear, a time of struggle, it's important to hear these words. So this comes from Paul's first letter to the Corinthians. And you've probably heard this at a wedding. If I speak in the tongues of mortals and of angels, but do not have love, I'm a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all my possessions, if I hand over my body so that I may boast, but I do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. But as for prophecies, they will come to an end. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will come to an end. For we know only in part, we prophesy only in part. But when the complete comes, the partial will come to an end. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. But when I became an adult, I put an end to childish ways. For now, we see in a mirror dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part. Then I will know fully, even as I have been fully known. And now faith, hope, and love abide, these three. And the greatest of these is love. There's one line in this that doesn't always get focused on in the midst of so many beautiful words. And that's this part, for now we see in a mirror dimly. When I read these words, it makes me think about what I am able to see when I look out my window. It makes me think about what we've all seen for the last 81 days of a pandemic, what we've seen unfolding around our world for years and years, for decades, for hundreds of years, a need for justice. And it's hard for us sometimes to realize that hope is present, precisely because we're just looking through a mirror dimly. We're seeing what we know reflected back at us, and it's not clear. The reality of this scripture, the hope in this scripture, is that there is a hope that that's not all we will see. As the author talks about love, he indicates that love is the key to see more, the key to that mirror not being so dim, because that love is God. Today I got to see love in front of me as a couple got married in spite of everything that's going on in our world. I see the world dimly sometimes. I look in that mirror dimly sometimes. But as they looked in their eyes in this wedding today, they could see clearly past all of the struggles that we endure. Hope for a future founded on love. And that's what I want for all of us. Because hope lives.